And last night, Bronny had himself a big night, with Daddy watching on from the sideline. The Clown Prince Jr. played a whopping 30 minutes in a game that saw a myriad of core rotational players out, including the aforementioned Daddy Dearest, watching on from the sidelines of an arena kept at a cozy 75 degrees in his characteristic
Did you see that horrible ass turnover by Bronny James?
multi-layer outfit and some, I'm certain he believes, trendy shades.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Also out was Luka Doncic in a game in which the Lakers got predictably blown to pieces by the Milwaukee Bucks, 118-89. But no fear, Bronny James was here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, dude. Look, the funny thing about last night's game is that I saw Marquise. So it's like it's the first quarter, and I'm tuning in a little late. So it's like the bottom half of the first. I think it was like 4 minutes left. And all I see is Marquise Morris's jersey on the court. And the moment I saw that, I immediately just clicked off. I said, oh yeah, no. Yeah, I'm not wasting my time watching this game. I'm good. I am good. I am not about to sit here and watch Marquise Morris play basketball for the Lakers. And no disrespect to Marquise. I know he's one of the great role players, but he's done. He's cooked. I saw earlier, Bleacher Report said that, Luka was out. I'm thinking Austin Reeves is about to play. But I saw Marquise Morris, and I'm like, it looks like the entire starting five isn't playing today. They're throwing this game away. Why would I give it any time? Immediately, I just stopped watching. I said, no, I'm good. Now, apparently, Bronny James played 36 minutes, which is incredible to have. And he has 17 points, and everybody is now jumping for joy, ready to bend over and celebrate and throw honey on themselves. Yes, Bronny, the prodigal king's son, look at what he's done. Even though they got blown out by 30-something points? What was the score? 89 to 116 or something like that? A historically terrible blowout. Nobody talks about that. All of the tabloids are talking about Bronny James having 17 points. This is so sad that this is the reality that we live in, bro. Like, these are headlines. Because the NBA isn't about basketball no more. It's about social media influence. It's not about basketball. They got rid of basketball, honestly, right after the Warriors dynasty. Once they realized LeBron was cooked, they just got rid of basketball, and the NBA became a social media paradigm where all it really cares about is how many clicks, likes, and retweets and videos are created talking about the NBA, but not the actual product itself, which is why everybody's complaining about this shit. And to make it worse, Bronny was like a negative 36 in the plus minus yesterday. But we're talking about the fact that he had 17 points. Bronny shines and Laker blowout loss. What type of a headline is that? When has that ever been a headline in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s? If you went and picked up your local newspaper where it had said, Bronny James shines and Laker blowout loss, 89 to 155. It's a damn shame.
Here to drop a career-high 17 points on a blistering 7 of 10 from the field. And this has to be legitimately top trending news on every major sporting outlet, which has forced me into talking about it. And oh sure, I can hear all of you now. Well, you are talking about it, Scap. Yes, because I have no damn choice. Minding my own business, going to ESPN to see legitimate sports news, and I am bombarded with this top story of Bronny scoring 17 points. Of course,
this is the shit that I'm talking about. It's top story news. So much happened in the NBA yesterday, but we have to talk about the 55th pick. Remember, because that's what you guys kept saying. Wow, this hate for the 55th pick. But why are they over marketing him? So we can't talk about what they market, right? I'm explaining to you guys. If you saw the part 2 of this video, I'm explaining to you guys the way that they trick the sheep and mismanage them by over marketing what's not even a good product. They've turned LeBron into Homelander. No matter what he does wrong, the marketing machine is going to say he's the god. That's all that's going to happen. They're going to shell out millions because he already has this huge fan base. And it's a shame. And he basically, his agency owns basically half the NBA at this point and all of ESPN. But that's another story for another day. But it's just, this is what they do. This is what they do. And then when we criticize it, we call it out because we're not sheep. We don't have the mindset of saying, hey, you know what? The world tells us this is what's good, but I think something's wrong. I think something's off. And because we think like that, we're either haters or weirdos or we're bored or I don't know, everything else.
It is only after you dig into the context of it that you realize this.
There you go right there. There you go. Where are you at?
Context of it.
Y'all not. The moment I saw this man right here on the court, I said, turn the channel off. Turn the TV off.
That you realize this basically was a G
I don't want to see Markieff Morris layups. I'm good.
League game with the Bucks just toying with the Lakers.
And again, I ain't trying to hate on Markieff, man. Shout out to Markieff, but he's not the Markieff of yesteryear. That's all I'm gonna say. He's not the old Markieff. He wasn't getting no burn on this Laker team. So when you sit out your whole starting five, and that's kind of something I want to talk about right now. Why is it, right? Because it looks like they all gonna play tonight against the Bulls, right? So LeBron couldn't be bothered. His groin hurt so much that he had to step out in the middle of a Celtics blowout loss, which, by the way, the moment he stepped out, the Lakers started to come back and almost won that game, right? So he had to step out. He couldn't be bothered to play the Bucks twice. He couldn't be bothered to play the Nuggets twice, which is what they just did on this last couple of weeks run. He wanted to miss out on all the hard games because these are proven games right here. These are games that if the Lakers win, and they have Bron and Luka, you can sit there and make a fair judgment on whether or not the Lakers have a real chance in the playoffs to actually get to the finals. And if they would have blew these teams out the water, right, then you could say, hey, they might actually get to the finals. But we'll never know because they didn't play their entire team last night. They sat out the fucking starting five. No Reeves, no Rui, no Vando, no Bron, no Luka. What is that? Dalton Connect and Bronny James featured against the Milwaukee Bucks. And you can't say it's because they didn't want to play in Milwaukee. They all sitting on the bench. They're right here. Look at this picture. There they are. There's LeBron. There's Rui. There's Reeves. There's Luka. This is what I'm talking about, though. Purposefully. But now, all of a sudden, his groin is working oh so well that he can play against the easy-ass Chicago Bulls. Who do they play after that? The easy-ass Magic? I don't want to call the Magic easy. They're a little tougher, but they're the Magic. Then he plays the Bulls again. And who else is on this? This next 2 weeks. Who else do they play? The Pacers. Oh, so LeBron, and this is my problem with LeBron. Whether you guys see it or not, he can be available to play all the easy games. He can sit there and put up 30 points against the Utah Jazz. But when the going gets tough and it's time to play teams worth their salt, he either has to get hurt or he has a horrible game and nobody talks about it. Oh, look at how they play against, and you silly effers in the comment section talking about, look at how he plays against 500 teams. Bro, what does a 500 team really mean? We know who the real teams are in the league. There's only 4 of them. What does he do against them? I don't care about what he did against the Clippers just because they so happen to be 500. A team that is going to end the season being 40, 42, and 40. I don't give a damn about how he plays against them. Those aren't real threats. When you have Luka, we have to compare you against the creme de la creme. So no, I don't care about how he fares against who? The Timberwolves? Who are what right now? The 8th seed, I think? Doesn't matter how he plays against the Chicago Bulls just because they so happen to be above 500, or the Pacers. Let's talk about real legit teams. What does he do against the Cavs? They got their asses blown out twice. Blown the fuck out. What does he do against the Celtics? We saw how horrible of a game that was. A failure. How does he do against the Nuggets? We saw they beat Jokic once, but it was an anomaly. Because at the end of the day, when is Jokic ever going to have a 7-point game again? It's just never going to happen. The next time he plays, if they actually all played each other, we know Jokic will have 35. And do they win in that game? What about the Warriors now with the addition of Jimmy Butler? And what about the OKC Thunder, who they're about to play in like 3 weeks? But let's see if LeBron is actually there to play that game. Or is he going to be out again with another groin injury when they play each other back to back, guys? It's going to be a Thunder game at home and then a Thunder game away. Will LeBron, if you guys are watching this video, will LeBron be there to play those games? Or is he going to be out? Foot injury, out. His ankle sore, out. Because this is what LeBron does every single season. When it gets to be around March and April and February, and the Lakers season gets toughened up, because they play easy-ass teams to start the season off. For the most part, the first 2 weeks, they're going to play some comp. After that, for November, December, January, it's pretty much easy street. Towards the end of January, all the way up into April, it can be a mixed bag. Some months are really tough. Some months are really easy. And they do this every season. They allow the Lakers, a.k.a. LeBron, to play himself into basketball. Because we know LeBron gears his shit up for January. He don't play tough in November and October and December. When everybody was making all these videos to start off this season, what was it about? LeBron's a minus 130 on the plus minus. LeBron is horrible. They weren't marketing this shit, but the online YouTubers were letting you know how horrible he was. Now all of a sudden he's so great because he had a great 3-week period and the Lakers didn't lose. Remember, the Lakers the 2nd seed. Now all of a sudden the Lakers what? The 4th seed, the 5th seed? It was fool's gold. It was fool's gold. But then they'll sit there, they'll tell you the lie, and you guys will fall for it, and you guys will just call us haters.
Lakers, who were without 4 starters for the night. I mean, Markieff Morris started in this game. No single Lakers starter for the night was averaging more than 9 points on the season. Oh, also, please pay no attention to the fact the Lakers were outscored by 36 points while Bronny was on the floor.
36 points.
What?
Yes, you heard that right. LA was a minus 36 in the 30 minutes that Bronny played. After the game, though, JJ was clearly very impressed.
It was obvious to me from the moment, I started spending time with him.
The ability to lie like that is just incredible, bro. Like, for you to fix your face, it was, and just do a corporate lie. This guy is going to be in the NBA for a long time.
Moment, I started spending time with him on the court this summer. He was certainly going to be an NBA player, and I still believe that. He'll be an NBA player.
I mean, JJ's out here talking like a guy who owes his very presence there in that job to LeBron. Oh, wait, likely because...
Well, that's because he does.
Because he does.
Be a class act. Says a lot about him, says a lot about that family. and the way LeBron and Savannah have raised him.
In quintessential James family form, though, one of the big highlights of the game was a Bronny turnover, when Bronny looked to have a step on Giannis, but then lost the ball out of bounds. Also in quintessential James form.
Yeah, like I said before, I saw none of this game. I was not about to waste my time. The moment I saw Markieff Morris on the floor starting, I said, yeah, nah, I'm not watching this garbage. I'm good. No disrespect to Markieff Morris yet again.
Bronny was, of course, looking for the foul afterwards.
May have got fouled. That's, up for argument, but it is what it is. I tried to.
Well, you got that dad in him. I'll tell you that much. He got that dad in him.
Give me a bucket.
No one pay any attention to Bronny's 1.6 point per game average on 26% shooting from the field in 21 appearances this season, coming into the game last night again.
21 games he's played. And what was his averages? 1.6 points, 26.3%. Oh, nah, forget all that. He had 17. He GOAT. I told y'all Bronny's going to be a star. That was just sad.
In 21 appearances this season, coming into the game last night against the Bucks.
It's a complete crap.
Of course, a game like this was predictable in a league with sparse defense during essentially a full game worth of garbage time, especially considering the bountiful amount of opportunities Bronny has been granted because of who Daddy is. Yes, this kind of game at some point should have been expected.
Cause Billy Ho, even the sun shines on the dog's ass some days.
And despite the Lakers' legitimate quest for an actual banner that matters this year, I am certain the Bronny James saga will continue to.
I don't agree with that legitimate quest. I just don't see the Lakers sniffing anywhere close unless Luka literally, like, listen guys, the only way that the Lakers could ever even get to the finals, let alone win a championship, is if Luka, and he's very capable of this, I'm not saying he can't, but he has to go nuclear every single fourth quarter of these pivotal games that they're going to play in the playoffs. Like, he's going to have to drop 20 points in the fourth and do the shit that he did against the Clippers a couple seasons ago. But I don't see a Luka Doncic that's even in the shape to do that. Now, I mean, there's still a month left of basketball, but as good as Luka looks, and to me, he looks like he's going to be a Lakers prize for seasons to come. At the same time, he is out of shape. Like, he looks 3 steps slower than he's ever been. So either the injury is still lingering, or he's really just that out of shape and unconditioned. I don't know which one it is. I do know that I enjoy watching him play basketball, though. I will tell you guys, I enjoy watching Luka. His passes, when he passes the ball, it actually means something. When LeBron passes the ball, most of the time it's stat padding. When he gets 10 assists a night, and you look at it, 5 of the assists aren't even really assists because he'll pass it to somebody in the corner, they'll dribble, tween, pull up. I don't know how the hell you call that an assist, but it is what, the league will rig to do whatever they want. But then the other half are like passes that should have been forced turnovers, and half of them are because he'll end the night with like 6 turnovers. So it's like, when I watch Luka play, I'm not saying he doesn't create turnovers, but he really just looks like he's more tuned with the chemistry of getting the player the open shot, and he actually does draw the defense. LeBron doesn't really draw the defense anymore, so most of his passes just look like passes. Great player Luka is. Needs to be a defender in order to ever touch a championship.
Humiliatingly rage on. And for more on the Bronny James origin story, you can check out this video right here, and make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with more from.
I want y'all to see this too, though. One thing I can say on the side note, I really do like how these jerseys look, man. I know a lot of people don't, but the new logos that they put, like, look at the 44 for Michael Cooper. I don't even know what Babingo is, but it's just like the badges. They kind of make these jerseys look good, especially like when you buy them in the NBA. because to me, it's kind of like, I don't want to compare it to the military, but it's kind of like that, like how you might see somebody, a sergeant, a high-ranking officer who has a lot of badges on his chest, and it always looks better than just, you know, somebody who's starting day one who has no badges. I just think that this should kind of look cool. But that's my preference, man. I appreciate y'all watching these videos. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all really think. I know it's a lot of BS going on, and we ain't falling for it today. So I'm up out of here.